What's up, guys? I got a quick installation video for you today. I contemplated not taking this video because it's such a quick job and my area to work in is a little bit cramped right now. My dad's Honda Pioneer, it's the 1005 seater. It's a 2021. It's got the cab on it, and this cab is so hot to ride inside. It is ridiculously hot in there. I took it out when it was 90 degrees and I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to pass out. So one thing that people do to kind of cool down the cabin is install this DEI Design Engineering Inc. Heat Shield. It goes underneath the seat to block a lot of the heat that comes up from underneath the seat, because the motor's like right underneath the seat. I think it's going to help quite a bit, but I think there's one more issue that is causing it to be just ungodly hot in here. I mean, you can't even ride in here in the winter. It is super hot. So he rarely actually gets to use this. We put the 814 shocks on and we haven't hardly got any time to dial them in because it's just miserably hot inside of here. So I think the heat coming from the engine is definitely one of the issues. But the other issue, it's got a heater in it, and it does have the high and low fan button, and you can also turn the heater or the fan off, but the heater is actually constantly running. I don't have the parts yet, but I'm gonna order the parts to have a manual bypass, so you bypass the heater, because I think that heater is actually creating a lot of heat. But first, I'm gonna try this insulated heat shield kit, because I think that'll cut it down by quite a bit, but I think we're gonna have to do a little bit more to it. But for right now, I'm gonna show you how to install this DEI kit. This may be a little more in depth since we do have a cab on it. A lot of people don't have the cab, but it should be fairly similar to one without a cab, just maybe a couple more steps, but it looks pretty easy. All right, so the first thing we'll need to do is take the seat out. It's just got a little tab in the center, and then you pull forward and up. You can see there's just a little button there. We'll pull that seat out. All right, now we need to take the back of the seat off. To do that, we're gonna have to lift the box. If you have this Honda cab on, it's so hard. This cab, let me tell you, it's not designed super well. It's squeaky, and this seal up here lets so much water in, and in order to open the box, you gotta pull this and then run to the backside before it relatches and pull up on the box. See, it's not even released, so you got to go to the other side, walk around the door, pull up on this side latch, hope that unlatches, and then normally you should be able to pull up on this, but see, you can smash your fingers there super easily. I've done that multiple times. But all right, now we'll look at the back side of this seat, or cab in our case. So Honda doesn't give you a ton of room to get behind here, but to remove the back seat, there's a bolt in here, here, in the center, in this other bracket, and then one on that far angle up there. There's a tube that goes across, and all 5 bolts are on this tube in a little like V-shaped bracket. All right, these are a 10 millimeter. So with the cab, this one is super hard to get to. There's a pocket for it. All right, now that we got all 5 bolts out, I'm hoping, oh yeah, the seat comes right out. Oh, there's some dust back there. We'll clean that up. So we're gonna have to pull all the black pins off of this plastic, because this piece, this long hard plastic piece, has to come out as well. You can lift this up and get to some of the black fasteners underneath there, but we're gonna have to pull this off to put the insulation underneath this. So I'll pull all these and then I'll get back with you when I am pulling this piece out. So you just get either a screwdriver or a pin to get under there, pull them up like that, and then wiggle them around and hopefully get the whole thing out. So there's quite a few of these. I've got quite a few out already. These black fasteners that hold on this rubber piece, you don't need to actually pull those out. This one you will, but these two top ones you do not have to pull those out. All right, I have most of the black fasteners on this front face removed. So we're gonna go under here and there's this rubber. We're gonna throw that through there. So this comes loose like that. Same thing on the other side. There we go. And then there are two more fasteners down in here. I think it's easiest, especially with a cab on, to get to them from the outside. So right here, there's one on each side. All right, I'm pretty sure we got them all out. As you can see, there was quite a few of them. Honda loves those type of fasteners, man. All right, let's try to pull this out. Miss one? Oh no, I just had to, it was overlapped there, and then it kind of gets stuck in the seatbelt bolt. So pull that out, and then it's caught up here. Nothing else attached. Why does it feel like something's still hooked? All right, I missed one fastener. So there's this black cover on the back side. It's actually hooked to that with this little fastener right here. That one looks like it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to get out, but we'll try it. All right, so as I understand it, you just put a little pick in here, find where you can get underneath the center portion, try to pop that center up. There we go. We'll work it out. It's coming a little bit. There we go. And then we'll pull that center portion out. And I'll use some pliers to get that out. There we go. Now let's see if we can get this plastic piece out. All right, so the seat belts are kind of in the way, but there we go. There. This rubber kind of got caught on a few things, but it came out pretty well. Man, I can see why that engine heat comes into the cab so bad. The engine's pretty much right underneath you. Man, that is close. Yeah, I'm hoping this kit does a lot for keeping the heat out. At least the engine heat. So the heater's actually underneath here. I believe this is the Honda heater. You can see there's a line that goes in and out of the heater core, and then there's a fan on top. But see, what I'd like to do, see, you can shut the fan high and low and shut it off, but there's still heat going into the actual heater core, which I think a lot of that heat is coming up as well. So I'm gonna buy a 4-way with a shut off, so in the summer we can shut off the heat so it just bypasses this and just it's straight going through the engine. So I think that'll help a lot, but I don't have those parts right now, so those will be in an upcoming video. But for right now, I think the heat shield's definitely gonna help keep some heat out. That engine is so close. I can see why it's super hot in here. Now I'm gonna start putting this insulation on. You want the dimpled side down towards the engine, the shiny side up. I originally thought that you had to pull all these black fasteners on the rubber pieces, but it doesn't look like that's the case. I watched an installation video from DEI, and they did pull the black matting up, but I think with this new design, I don't think you have to, because these holes are way too big for those black fasteners to hold it down. So I believe those are just clearance holes. So I'm going to start putting the insulation in. I'm going to start on the passenger side since it's the larger piece. All right, you can see it's cut pretty well to the shape of everything going on under the seat here. I'm gonna go by this angle here. It matches up with the angle of the frame right here below the bottom bolt of the seat belt on the passenger side. So it does have a slit to go around all the seat belt stuff. So we're gonna feed it behind the seat belt like that, and then open that slit up. There we go. And then we'll tuck it under all the bolts and everything. And then there's this post, I don't know if you can see it here. There's a post for the seat. We'll put that around there. And then there's a latch bracket. You definitely want to make sure that's through there. And then we'll tuck this corner edge, kind of line it up as best as we can with all these fastener holes here. There, that fits really well. The driver's side here, it's not as difficult. You just throw the seat belts right through, line up the holes, tuck it in pretty nice. Make sure your seat loops are in the right place. There. Yeah, that looks good. That was pretty easy. All right, now we'll move to the driver's side. Again, make sure the dimple side's down. We'll put this where you can get to the bracket. There's a nice post here, and then the clip here. Just kind of align everything. Tuck that corner under the driver's seat bolt here. And we'll kind of make sure everything's about in the right place. Make sure all these holes are lining up good. There we go. Now we're going to put this bottom panel back in. The instructions actually say to remove this foam pad on the bottom here. I noticed that on the older models, this pad's a lot thicker. This 2021, it's so thin and it squishes down to nothing. I really don't think that's necessary, and I'd like the extra insulation, so I'm going to try to leave that on, although the instructions say otherwise. So let's go ahead and start bolting this back on with those plastic push pins. We're going to make sure we go around the seat belt, or underneath the seat belt, I guess, and then underneath this rubber panel. Make sure the seat belt on this side is on the right side. There we go. Go to the other side. There is a metal bracket, and you kind of got to make sure you orientate it the right way. We'll put these seat belts through here again. Make sure we have our seat belt right. Getting closer. Now we'll hook these rubber pieces back up. Just throw it over here and then throw them back through like that. Kind of open the ears up so it holds. We'll do the same thing on this side. There we go. Now we'll start putting all the black push pins back in. All right, I got this plastic piece all back on. I got all the plastic fasteners in. I would be lying if I said it was a great time. It's just really difficult to line up all the holes. There's a lot of layers of rubber, insulation, plastic. It's hard to get them all aligned. I found that using a small screwdriver to kind of line up the holes, it really helped. But yeah, the fasteners are a little bit harder to push in since it's going through a lot more material. So it wasn't bad. Just wasn't a lot of fun. There is some splits in it here. I think I'm gonna put some duct tape on these just so it keeps any air from coming up. It can't hurt, so I'm gonna do that before I put the seat back on. There is a couple more pieces in this kit. These two here, those go in the back to keep the heat off the passengers in the rear. I'll put those on next. All right, I'm gonna throw the seat back in. I'm hoping it's easier than I think it's gonna be because I'm doing this alone, no one to hold it up for me. So hopefully it kind of holds itself up a little bit. We got to make sure we go underneath the seat belts. There we go. Make sure the seat belts aren't binding up or anything. There, it's kind of holding pretty well. If I can get a bolt in there. Oh, now it's sliding down. If I can hurry up and get a bolt in the back, I think we'll be okay. All right, I got the seat bolted in. Man, that was kind of a pain. It's definitely a two-person job. Somebody's got to move the seat up and down, left and right while you get the bolts in. And I would put the bolts in lightly so you can still move the seat around and then tighten them all up at the end. With the cab on, it's so hard to get to this bolt right here. It's just so tight. Same thing with the one on the other side. Yeah, if you don't have a cab, that'd probably be a lot easier. But we got it. Seat belts work good, so no issue there. All right, now we'll put some duct tape on here and then throw the bottom of the seat on and then move to the back. All right, I have black duct tape, but I decided to use some silver so it matches a little bit better. I'll just kind of close up this gap right here. Like that. It doesn't look the best, but function over form in this case. I'll do the same thing to the slit on the other side, the one that goes around the seat belts. There we go. Now to finish off the front end, I think the only thing I have to do is put the bottom of the seat in. There we go. Nice. Yeah, you can't even see the shielding. All right, the seat went back on fine. It's clipped really good. The only place you can see the insulation is right here. It doesn't hang out of the front or anything. You can't see it in the back. That's nice. I'm excited to test it out. All right, now it's time to put these back parts in. These ones have adhesive on the back side, so you peel this off and stick them. I'll show you the panel that we have to take off. So it's this one right here that says this is not a step. Okay, I did find an easier way to get these out. You just push down a little bit like this. Just drop them a tiny little bit and then they should pull out just like that. All right, this part's gonna be kind of hard to video. We have this piece, which is gonna go kind of like this, only on the inside here, kind of like that. And then we have this rectangular piece that's gonna go like this, only on the very inside of that. We have a cab, so it's really difficult to get in there. So I'm gonna have to reach down inside and then put it on. It's just gonna be hard to video. So that's what I'm doing. So a panel goes on the inside of this and the inside of this. That's right where the exhaust is. So it's trying to keep heat out of the back of the cab. So I'm gonna use some alcohol and wipe down all these surfaces on the inside. And then I'm gonna go ahead and peel the adhesive off and stick those on. Just using some isopropyl alcohol. Quite a bit of it, I guess. Then we'll just wash down these surfaces to make sure that adhesive will stick.
Gotta help, don't I?
Yeah. This piece is gonna be...
Can we get under it?
You can't get to it under, there's a skid plate.
Felt that in here now.
I only feel cool air coming in from the crack.
Yeah. Big hell of a difference. I mean, you could breathe in here after. Yeah, that's good now, I think.
Yeah.
That just made a hell of a difference. That's like it just shut it off.
Yeah. I shut the heater off right there.
You couldn't ride it. I mean, you could probably today, but it, it'd be hot.
Seems a little quieter too.
Yeah, a lot quieter.
All right, the DEI Heat Shield is completely installed, and man, it made an absolute huge difference. I couldn't believe it. I don't know if you could hear in that riding portion of the review or not, but we were talking about it inside the cab, and I mean, it is a night and day difference. The heat, you can't feel any heat coming out of it. Previously you could feel the seat and you could feel how hot it was getting, and you could feel like heat coming through all the different holes underneath and behind the seat. But I mean, there was absolutely no heat coming through, and then we used the heater and it kept it at a really good temperature. So I think this is going to work perfectly. For right now, we're not going to even try the bypass that I was talking about for the heater. I think this insulation is going to work perfectly. I mean, we were perfectly comfortable riding around in the cab, and we have never done that. He hasn't got much use out of this Pioneer hardly at all, because with the heat inside that enclosed cab, it's just miserable in there. But we rode it for quite a while, and it was really cool. It didn't get hot at all. And then he used it a couple more hours today, and he said it works perfectly. So, I mean, I'm really happy with it. So you can buy like insulation with adhesive on it, like off of Amazon. And I've used some of that for sound deadening and whatnot, but this stuff is completely different. It's got like, it does have the like sound deadening, but it's got like fiberglass in between, and then the outside is like a really thin sheet of aluminum. You can actually bend it and it'll stay there. It's really nice stuff. It insulates super well. And I mean, huge improvement. If you've got a Pioneer, you know how hot it gets in the cab. And we don't usually ride in the back seats, so we didn't try that to notice, you know, how much difference it made in the heat. I assume it's going to make a decent difference, but yeah, we don't usually use the back, and it's kind of cold out, so I don't know if you'd notice it anyway in these temperatures. But as far as inside the cab, inside the front couple seats, man, this made all the difference. It's great. If you want the same kit we got for this, we paid $110 for it, which, I mean, worth it all day. I mean, the kit was really great quality, precision cuts, everything lined up perfectly, and it just made a huge difference. So $110 to be a lot more comfortable, it was worth it. I'll put a link in the description of this video to where you can get that kit. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video or if it helped you out, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. That really helps us out to be able to buy more things, to bring you more videos, and it just lets us know that you like what we're putting out. So yeah, that'd be great. If you haven't checked out any of our other videos, we have tons of videos on the channel, lots of side-by-side stuff, sport quads, snowmobiles, just a lot of off-road stuff in general. A lot more coming soon. We got a ton of projects just about ready to kick off. It's winter. We don't have a lot to do other than work on stuff and build projects. So it's going to be a good time here real soon. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I don't know if anybody is interested in tractors, but my dad just got this tractor completely restored. This thing is beautiful. Brand new everything. Whole new wiring harness. Just insane. Brand new seat. All new controls and steering wheel. Tires. This thing is clean. The thing's got a turbo. This is an awesome tractor. Looks sweet.